All right, so now we are into step 2 where we're going to draw the derivative number line. Now, keep in mind, we're going to think about our domain when we're drawing this number line because our domain was not all real numbers. So we can't just go negative to positive infinity. We have to remember that our domain was v could not be equal to 5. So we draw the number line, we plop down the 5, and we say, okay, our domain is defined from negative infinity to 5, and then 5 out to infinity. So we want to test each of these intervals. So we want to see what is the behavior on the first interval and what is the behavior on the second interval. Now, when we test, we are going to plug into the derivative. And specifically, we're going to plug into the derivative right before we set numerator equal to 0 and denominator equal to 0. So we go back to our work on the previous page and we say, okay, on this previous page, right before I set numerator denominator equal to 0, I had a derivative of 11 over v minus 5 squared. And now I need to plug in a number on this first interval from negative infinity to 5. So I'm feeling like plugging in 0. You could plug in any number though you want to, and you'll have 11 over 0 minus 5 squared. Now, you can do that with your full calculator. What I always do is just think, what is the sign in the numerator? That is positive. And then what is the sign in the denominator? In the denominator here, I have a negative 5 squared, so that will also be positive. So I have a positive over a positive, so that gives us a positive. Now, what does that positive tell us? Remember, this was the derivative, the first derivative that we're looking at. So that positive tells us that we are going up the hill. And then I plug in something from to the right of 5, so maybe I plug in 6. That gives us a positive over 1 squared. So that gives us a positive over a positive. So we also have a positive to the right of 5. And what that would tell us is that this function just continues to increase. So it increases, and then there's actually a vertical asymptote there, and then it continues to increase. So we would say that it's increasing on negative infinity to 5, union 5 to infinity. Please know that 5 does matter. This is not the same thing as saying negative infinity to positive infinity. You have to split it up into the two separate intervals because, again, at 5 the function is not defined. We have to take that into account. And then decreasing would be nowhere is it decreasing, and then no relative max or min because you're just continuing to go up, 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 and away.